so let's do this. You good, John?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, let's do this. I'm ready.
Was it what you thought it was going to be?
A little, yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Marcus Hernandez, the founder. This is a different episode of Four Sides of the Ring. We're kind of like stepping inside the ring, just not with a wrestler, with a tattoo artist named John Slater, who's currently tattooing my arm right now. John, usually when we have guests on, we usually like to start off with who are you and why do you love professional wrestling?
Oh, wow. John Slater, and I've always watched wrestling throughout my life, different periods of time. Sometimes, you take a break, but I don't know. I just enjoy watching.
I hear that. Something I enjoy watching too. It's a beautiful art form, kind of like what you're doing right now on my arm.
Yeah.
Before we start talking into wrestling and your fandom, how did tattooing start for you?
I've always drawn and painted since I was a little kid. And it seemed like the most fun way to make a living.
You remember your first drawing that said that you were like, oh yeah, kind of want to be a tattoo artist now?
Oh, man. Wow. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I was probably in 7th, 8th grade.
Okay.
I've always enjoyed drawing fish. And I saw a koi fish.
Yeah.
Done by a Japanese painter. And I was like, I want to do that.
Okay, so 7th, 8th grade, picked up. Have you always been drawing since a little boy?
Oh, yeah.
Did the love for art come before the love for wrestling?
No, they kind of were at about the same time, I guess.
Okay.
I was a little younger when I started watching wrestling, but they kind of came together.
Was there any specific wrestler that you were growing up with that you were like, oh man, those tattoos, there's some cool tattoos that guy has?
Honestly, there weren't a lot when I was a kid. There weren't a lot of wrestlers that had tattoos. The first one I can really remember is Harley Race.
Okay.
And he didn't have a bunch, but he had some like on his forearms where you could see them. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay. Any wrestler out there that you wish you could tattoo?
Oh man, any of them really. It's a lot more. There are a lot more wrestlers with tattoos now. So,
Nowadays, yeah, that is very true. Any wrestler like that's out right now that that they have awesome tattoos that you find yourself just looking at?
Randy Orton's got some cool ones. Man.
Randy Orton does have some cool ones.
He's got some pretty cool ones. I always like the Undertaker's because Paul Booth did his.
Yeah, Undertaker has some awesome ones too.
Yeah.
I know you have the Danhausen picture back there.
Yeah.
His tattoos are pretty. He's got some pretty cool tattoos.
Yeah, definitely.
I've always liked like Brody King, Aleister Black, or Malachi Black.
Yeah. The House of Black.
The House of Black. Yeah, those guys have some awesome tattoos.
Yeah. Brody King. For sure.
Yeah, Brody King has some awesome tattoos. Do you remember your first tattoo?
Yeah, it's still here. It's still here.
Do you have any wrestling related tattoos?
No, I don't think I do.
No.
I don't think I do.
We spoke previously, and you said this is not your first wrestling tattoo, correct? You did a Fiend piece for somebody.
Yeah. I've done a Fiend piece. I've done Cody Rhodes.
Oh, nice, Cody Rhodes.
Not on the neck. I was like, I'm not doing it on the neck.
Oh, like his emblem?
Yeah.
Right. That's a crazy tattoo.
You know what? Actually, I kind of do have this right here. I got when I saw the Undertaker has one there, and of course I did it on my other arm from his, so mine's backwards.
Okay.
But I didn't. I got it because I saw his, and I was like, I want a skull like that.
Yeah.
Like a Paul Booth skull.
You've always been like attracted to the skulls?
Yeah. For sure.
Well, do you remember? Is there a specific wrestler that you remember that got you into wrestling?
Not really a specific one. Back when I started watching wrestling, it was still the territories.
Okay.
And we had like Mid-Atlantic.
Right.
And we got the Texas, Mid-South.
Okay.
Mid-South, we got that on TV too. But I just think that whole era, like the Four Horsemen and the Road Warriors, and just that.
The founding fathers of wrestling.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Territories is pretty cool. Did you have a specific promotion at the time when you were growing up that you were like, oh, gotta watch?
Mid-Atlantic.
Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, Mid-Atlantic for sure.
And then WWE kind of took over. You ever been to a WrestleMania?
No, I wish.
Any WWE related events?
Yeah. I went to Raw a few months ago when it was in Greensboro.
Nice. You're a fan of AEW too, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So AEW's been out here a lot. You originally from North Carolina?
Mm-hmm. About
part?
30 minutes from here.
Oh, Greensboro?
No. A place called Madison, Maryland. You go
Madison.
north like you're going to Virginia.
Okay. Yeah. I know.
It's like 10 or 15 minutes before.
It's like going out there towards Martinsville and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you come out this way towards Winston?
I had been working in Greensboro. I went to UNCG.
Okay, nice.
And I just had been there for a while. Needed a change.
UNCG.
I didn't want to move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. UNCG for tattooing?
No, for art.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to do an apprenticeship for tattoos.
Oh, interesting.
It's not a college class. I mean, obviously, if you want to go take some art classes, it's only going to help.
Right. When did you do your first tattoo? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Was it a good one?
No. No, it was not a good one.
How old were you at the time?
Oh man, like 15.
Okay, just starting up.
Yeah. We were still like poking each other.
How long did it take for you to realize, okay, I finally got a hang of this. I finally got it down.
Oh man, dude. I mean, there was a couple years of just like doing stupid shit on my stupid friends.
Okay, I
They
hear
would
that.
let me, and then I was like, well, if I don't get an apprenticeship, I'm only going to go this far, you know?
Right.
You can't really teach yourself how to do something you don't know how to do.
Right, I hear that.
So I got an apprenticeship, and then probably about a year after that, I was like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm doing.
Do you remember your first apprenticeship?
Yeah.
Did you have a good teacher?
Yes and no.
Why no?
He taught me a lot of things, how to do a lot of things, and he taught me how not to do a lot of things.
Okay.
You know?
Is that your
I'm
only?
grateful for it, for sure.
Is that your only teacher? Or did you have like multiple people you learned from?
No, I mean that was the guy my mentor.
Okay.
But I mean, shit, I learned from these guys every day, you know.
Right. What made you decide to take the jump and say, I think I could do this on my own and have a successful tattoo shop, such like Tattoo Revival?
What was the question again?
What made you want to do this on your own?
Okay. I mean, I had just worked at a bunch of other shops for other people.
Right.
And again, I learned a lot of how to do things, but I also learned what not to do.
Okay.
And I just was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. If I don't do it now, I'll probably never do it.
Do you have a favorite tattoo? Like that you've done personally?
Oh, that I've done? Yeah. I did a big koi fish not too long ago on a friend of mine's thigh.
Nice. What about on your body? So many?
I really like my heart on my sternum, man.
Okay.
Really like that. I get to look at it every day when I brush my teeth. I like it, man.
Do you have your own tattoo artist, or do you just go to whomever?
No, I just go to other tattoo artists that I've met that I like their stuff.
Right.
You know, kind of like anybody else would, really.
I hear that. Where'd the name Tattoo Revival come from?
It just came at a time when tattooing was kind of getting a little watered down in the beginning, and I kind of wanted to bring it back to the traditional roots.
Right.
The old school street shop kind of mentality.
I
worked in a shop, oddly enough, on this street.
Oh, nice.
Just further up. And, man, we had such cool artists that were working there, and it was a really cool spot.
I hear that. That's the worst part. Do you? Is this your only shop?
That I've ever owned?
Yeah. You plan on doing another one? No, just the one and done.
This is it, man.
No relocating. This is going to be home.
Nah,
I hear that.
we're gonna have to make this work.
What was your encounter like with Danhausen when you met him? Was that?
He was super awesome.
He's somebody who lives in Kayfabe as well, right? Was he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was at WrestleCade.
Okay, nice. Yeah, Resco. We'll be there this month too. I think he's going to be there actually.
Yeah, he'll be there.
That's nice. That's somebody I'm trying to meet as well. He's super awesome. I think everything he does is great. It sucks that he isn't wrestling like you say, because I think entertainment wise he's fantastic. The dude, I know he can work whenever he needs to.
Yeah.
So it kind of does suck that we don't get enough of him or any of him technically, but more of him would be great.
Yeah.
Definitely more of him would be great.
And I mean, because I think he uses a lot of moves that aren't seen a whole lot.
Uh-huh.
You know, that weird abdominal stretch thing he does off the ropes, and like.
And then like the whole entertainment aspect of him cursing you, I think is hilarious. You know, saying if you don't get cursed, you probably are going to beat him. Yeah, I think everything he does is pretty cool. Do you think wrestling now is better than it was like in the Attitude Era or even Territory Era when you was watching?
I mean, I think the moves are a lot better for sure.
Definitely more athletic.
Yeah.
I feel like the characters aren't there now. You know, like I feel like the gimmicks and the characters were way better in the Attitude Era in the early 2000s, early 90s even, than we have right now. Like I'm a fan of Seth Rollins, but I feel like he wants to be his wife so bad sometimes. So they have the same dresser or whatever it is. You think Roman is better than The Rock, like most people might say? Then
I don't know about all that. I still remember NXT Roman when he couldn't cut a promo to save his fucking life.
Oh yeah, the big dog when he first they kind of force fed us to him. Yeah, definitely. But the Rock wasn't all like
Yeah, he wasn't the greatest either.
Yeah, he wasn't the greatest.
That whole gimmick really sucked.
Do you think there's somebody like that was wrestling in the 90s that would have been perfect for this era of wrestling right now?
Oh man.
Or even maybe like the Attitude Era, like they were just before their time.
Well, I mean, I think Dusty Rhodes has always been like he was fucking made for the WWE,
right?
And they didn't even see that, like that's why they even that ridiculous polka dotted shit or whatever. But like even then, he killed it.
Yeah. I think he's somebody too. He's just made everything work. It's like, okay, if that's what you want me to do,
that's what I'll do.
That's what I'll do. Were you a fan of the Piper?
Yeah, big fan of Roddy Piper. Jake the Snake Roberts too.
You're more of a so I'm assuming you're more of a heel guy than you are a face guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I think everybody loves a good bad guy. So Razor Ramon. What about were you a fan of Kevin Nash? I know everybody is kind of iffy about him.
I could have lived without him. I mean, I'm not saying he was bad or anything like that, but
did you like
different to him?
Did you like the transition when Hulk Hogan went from WWE to WCW?
I never liked Hogan.
No? Okay.
No, I didn't really. I was kind of like good.
Good riddance.
I never really cared much for Hulk.
Okay, you might be like a handful of people I've known that watch all the different eras of wrestling and actually tell me that Hulk Hogan is just.
Yeah, I never got on the Hogan train.
Never became a Hulkamaniac.
No, I liked Macho Man way better.
Yeah, Macho was great.
I didn't like the Ultimate Warrior very much, man. Like even as a kid, I was like, that guy's coked out. Shit he's saying doesn't make any sense.
That's it. I hear that. What about guys like? So you said Macho Man, Randy Savage. Were you a fan of like Lex Luthor?
Lex Luger?
Yeah, Lex Luger.
No, I didn't think he was. I mean, I thought he looked amazing, but he wasn't that great of a wrestler.
Did you like guys like Doink the Clown? Did you like those type of gimmicks?
I didn't really like the second Doink the Clown. I liked the original dude, Matt. I can't remember his name now. I liked him. When it was his idea, I thought he was doing great with it. But that happened with like Sin Cara and a couple other people too.
Yeah,
So.
everybody. Fan of Eddie Guerrero?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie was great. Excuse me. In one of our episodes, we talked about like Mount Rushmores of wrestler. Who would you put as your Mount Rushmore?
It's so hard because it's only 4.
Yeah. Who would be your top 4 though? If you had to choose.
4, but only 4.
Yeah, we could do a 5, an honorable mention if we need to.
Alright, I'm gonna say Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair. I have to say The Undertaker.
Okay.
Probably Foley.
Mick Foley?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I like that.
Honorable mention really for fucking Rufus Freight Train Jones. You'll have to look him up.
Rufus Freight Train
He was one of
Jones.
the first dudes. Him and Dusty Rhodes, like, they were gold on the mic.
I definitely gonna have to look him up.
And maybe and Harley Race too, just because that back then that wrestling was so different though.
It was different. It was
so different.
It was different types of grabs that they were doing back then, and
Yeah.
then it transitioned to what it is now. So definitely, it's very more athletic, you could say now, than it definitely was back then.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good
But
forward.
like I remember when Harley Race won the title for the first time, like the reason they put him in the ring with that guy was because they didn't think the guy was going to give up the belt.
Right.
And Harley was like the only dude in the promotion that could physically
Do that.
pin him anyway
Mm-hmm.
or hurt him enough. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he was that guy.
that's pretty rowdy, dude.
That is. Were you a fan of Andre?
No.
Didn't like Andre the Giant?
No.
What about Iron Sheik?
Yes, very much.
What about gimmicks like the Big Boss Man? Did you like things like that? Sergeant Slaughter?
I thought Slaughter was cheesy.
Because of the whole like military aspect of it, or
No, just because of the way they flip-flopped him around so much.
when they made him a heel, I thought it was like, all right, now you're really stretching it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I mean, which I guess is good. You want somebody that's willing to do that kind of stuff, but I didn't like him.
Did you like? I know you said you're a fan of Taker. What about Kane?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the time he debuted and
Yeah,
the
pay-per-view.
pay-per-view.
Busted, broke the door off the hinges. Oh, yeah.
What about when he took his mask off? Did you expect, I guess, Glenn Jacobs to look that?
I had already heard that it was the same guy that played Isaac Yankum.
Yeah,
Kind of knew what he looked like anyway. I just thought it was kind of lame.
Oh, really? You didn't like
I was
it?
let down.
You didn't like it when he took the mask
I was
off?
like, come on, man. There's got to be something fucked up about him.
The fire just wasn't enough anymore.
You know,
Yeah.
something. But
He
he
put it
made
back.
it work.
He did make it work. He did
yeah.
make it work.
And even when he started talking and shit.
What about guys like the Boogeyman? Did you like the scary gimmicks like that?
Yeah. I like that dude too. I think he was pretty cool.
Sorry, I assume you were definitely a fan of Bray Wyatt then.
Yeah.
And everything he
Yeah.
did. Yeah, it was.
And the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
You know, I
The
think
Wyatt
they're
Six
doing
now.
a good job with them. They're not putting them in every week. You know what I'm saying? They're letting it be a little
different.
mysterious or whatever, but not in a hokey way too much.
Would you say Taker was like the first, I guess, scary gimmick that was out there when you started watching wrestling? Like, well, I guess you had. I'm trying to think of who else might have had like that scary gimmick. Like when he came out, was just like super evil. Or
I mean,
Abdullah, I guess.
Abdullah the Butcher maybe is the
Abdullah.
only one I can really think of or Bruiser Brody maybe, but he wasn't really like supernatural. He was just crazy.
Right. Or Papa Shango.
Yeah, those were guys that like they might hurt you.
Yeah, right.
That might fuck you up.
Do you have a favorite wrestling move that like when you watch it, you was like, oh, that's a cool move?
Not really.
Now you just all moves are kind of just like awesome. Are you more into like the entertainment aspect of wrestling, or do you actually like want the wrestling?
No, I want the wrestling.
Okay.
I appreciate the wrestling part too, man. To me, that's why we're really there. The entertainment part is cool and all, but if you can't wrestle, I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I even think women's wrestling now is way better
Oh
than
God, yeah.
anything that was ever invented before its time. You know.
Yeah.
You have a favorite woman wrestler out there right now?
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Mine is Asuka. She's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Can't wait for her to come back.
I like Kairi Sane and Io Sky too. I've
Yeah,
watched
Kairi,
her
yeah.
since she was in Lucha Underground.
What about Charlotte? You a fan of Charlotte?
Yeah.
You think she's as good as her father, or
No.
no, not even wrestling wise? No.
I mean, her moves are awesome to watch. And it's, she does a really nice sunset flip. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
And the moonsault off the top rope. She's got one of the prettiest ones, man, but she doesn't have the swag that Ric Flair had.
She tries to have it. I like
Yeah,
I like the
but
fact
she's
that
not. It doesn't come as natural to her as it does to him, man.
Sometimes I feel like it could be a bit annoying from her. Like she's trying to push it a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Do you like when you see like second generational wrestlers? Like, do you think Randy was better than his father, or is better than his father?
Yeah. I mean, as big as his dad was, man.
He's super famous for wearing a cast, right?
Yeah. He's surpassed that. But the market's different too.
Yeah.
Again, man, the territories were way different.
Like when you see like The Rock, Roman Reigns, the Usos, do you think those guys were better than Umaga, the High Chief, the Wild Samoans?
I think their moves are, but I think in terms of
Legacy,
what those guys went through to
Right.
do what they did, they had a lot more barriers to cross, I think.
Okay.
Than they cleared the path for them.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Most definitely.
Kids.
Most definitely. It's kind of cool though. Were you a fan of Umaga when he was out?
Yeah.
He's too bad his time was cut short, which sucks because
Yeah.
I thought he was. What about? I know people don't talk about him because obviously we know he's part of the family, but kayfabe wise, he's not part of the family like Yokozuna.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a fan of Bret Hart? I know he's
not really. I liked his wrestling. I didn't like him.
a lot of people say that, like his character, or not his character, but his personal image himself.
Yeah. I didn't.
A lot of people might say, he was just like, he was bad for the business. He didn't want to put people over.
Yeah.
If he liked you, and that was that. If he didn't, you just got the short end of the stick. What about his brother Owen? Were you a fan of him?
Yes. Yeah. I thought oh man, now I'm not Blue Meanie. The blue guy he did.
Oh,
I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I
I thought it was cool that he was willing to do that. And it shows the difference between him and Brett.
Did you watch that pay-per-view that night that happened, or
No, I didn't watch
no?
that paper.
Do you remember hearing about it?
I do remember hearing about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Do you have a favorite wrestler that's passed away that you wish was kind of still doing their thing?
Yeah, probably Owen. I have to say.
Owen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, in my personal opinion, a lot of people think I'm crazy, but I actually think Owen was way better than Brett.
Yeah.
Like I would rather much watch Owen Hart than go and watch a Bret Hart match.
Yeah, he was way more exciting to watch, and I think he had a better skill set than Brett did, man. Brett was a suplex guy, and, can he throw the sharpshooter on you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
run the ropes a few times, that's pretty much his thing. He's done.
Bump, sharpshooter. All right,
Yeah,
call it a day.
Done.
Definitely. Do you watch indie wrestling? Like, did you know who like Kevin Steen was, or Seth Rollins before he even joined the WWE?
No,
Dean Ambrose.
I didn't have. I just didn't have access to it.
Right.
I didn't
No,
know
yeah.
it was a thing.
No, yeah. I mean, I think that's why like NXT is such a good thing, and even like AEW right now giving these guys a platform. TNA tried to do that, but then they tried to go mainstream with it, and I think that's where they kind of lost their mark, and now they're back to where they need to be. But yeah, I think do you think NXT was a good thing then to like showcase these guys and show them, at least give them a platform to like show themselves? Like that's how we got to get Seth Rollins, Sami Owens, or Sami Zayn, I should say.
I enjoyed watching NXT, and I still do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's they seem to be a lot more focused on their character. You know, their characters are super over the top. Man. Like, some of them are just downright silly.
Yeah.
But it gives them a chance to work on, like, saying weird shit during promos or something like
Who
that.
do you like on NXT right now?
I like Obafemi, but he's getting ready to come to the main roster.
Yeah,
I feel like
Oba's really good.
I think that's why they took that belt away from him. 'Cause he doesn't need it.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's a superstar in himself.
He doesn't need that belt.
What about, are you a fan of, this is, you either a fan or you're not, Trick Williams?
Oh, yeah. I liked it more when him and Mello were together, partners, friends, whatever.
Than his little solo run?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad, No. My brother is not a big fan of it right now. He's learning to become a fan of Trick Williams. What about, like, Ethan Page?
Yeah, I like him. He's alright, man. I remember seeing him in AEW.
Yeah. One guy I'm trying to, like, on AEW or NXT, I'm trying to, like, really get behind and really try to cheer for him is Lexis King, because his father was so great.
Yeah.
And then I know he doesn't want to be his father, but it's like he's becoming that person. Mm. But I just feel like everything he does right now, he's a good wrestler. He's great in ring, but I feel like the promos are slacking. I feel like his wrestling, like his opponents too, just don't help him out. Like, he's just not picking these good, or not having these good matches with some of these guys. When you see guys like that, do you see, like, when you watch him, do you see his father? Were you a fan of his dad?
Yeah, definitely. Brian Pillman.
Brian Pillman was awesome.
Was awesome. Even when he was flying Brian, you know what I'm saying, like that. I always thought his dad was a good wrestler. I can't get past the way he looks. He looks just like his dad.
Just, yeah.
And I know he put two pictures together. They don't look exactly alike, but that's what I see. Mm-hmm. I don't see him with quite the same skill set.
Right.
Like you said, his promos are kind of
Mm-hmm.
Brian Pillman was crazy.
Yeah, he made you believe he was crazy.
Yeah.
He was definitely killer on the mic. I say that because, like, then I think of guys like Dom, you know what I mean, who I think is 100 times better on the mic than his father. Obviously, the wrestling is not 100 times better.
Right.
And they might get there. Are you a fan of Dominic Mysterio?
I fucking love that character.
I think the Dirty Dom character is awesome. I think all of Judgment Day is actually pretty awesome.
Michelle hates him, and I'm like, but you're supposed to. That means he's doing it right. You're not supposed to like him.
That was, the number one hated heel on the entire roster of WWE, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point.
Do you think, this is probably a wild question, but do you think he'll have, like, a legacy like his father's, or do you think it'll never be something like that?
I mean, dude, he wrestles all the time right now.
He does?
Fucking always at work, dude. I mean, you can't not get better if that's what you're doing.
Right.
You know?
That does make sense. I just think of guys also like Ted DiBiase Jr. Like, I feel like he never really got there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
What he did
was his fault.
Yeah. Yeah. That was his fault. He could have followed the steps of, like, Cody and gone to the indie scenes, New Japan, and definitely, like, reinvent himself. So you're absolutely right. This fall, and then he gets in trouble for, like, tax fraud or something like that. So
yeah,
it definitely sucks when you can't fill your father's shoes, such like a Randy Orton, Dominic Mysterio, and, like, hopefully Lexis King can get there. That'd be pretty interesting. Well, do you like NXT now, or were you a fan of, like, the Black Gold era of NXT?
I think the older era I was a little more of a fan of, but I think it's good what they're doing, and apparently they're going to be doing another one.
Yeah, I heard something
like that.
Yeah, then they just opened this, like, WWE ID thing for all these other guys. Yeah, they're trying to, I guess, reinvent the system again, or even some people might say, like, choke it out so AEW can't sign some of these guys.
Yeah,
but we'll definitely see. Is there, like, a dream match you wish you could go see in any particular promotion, or even if it was, like, somebody from AEW versus somebody from WWE?
Oh man. I'd really like to see Orange Cassidy wrestle live.
Okay.
I don't know why. I couldn't. When I first started watching AEW, I fucking hated that guy.
Orange Cassidy?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I think because I felt in the beginning like, man, he's not even doing anything. He's got his hands in his pockets. And then I was like, wait a minute. He's wrestling with his hands in his pockets. And then, it took me a few matches before I was like, he's kind of winning me over.
Right.
And now I really like his character.
What about,
It's kind of crafty what he does. I'd like to see him and maybe, I don't know.
do you think like guys like John Moxley, do you think he could have done that in WWE?
What he's doing now?
What he's doing right now? No?
They would have never gone for that.
Yeah, you're probably right. They probably would have been like, no, you're crazy. You can't do none of that.
Yeah.
So do you like this reinvented John Moxley more than Dean Ambrose?
Yes.
I think it's always cool when somebody can do that, like kind of like he did. He went there and just reinvented his whole self.
Yeah.
And you could probably say now he's up there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he was also out of the Shield members, he was probably my favorite, but he definitely got the short end of the stick from Roman because he didn't have the look that Roman has, and then the skill set of Seth Rollins is just really good. So, but I was always a fan of Dean Ambrose. Now John Moxley. What about like Edge when he became Adam Copeland? Did you think it was crazy that he decided to jump off that cage at his age?
Yes. That's why he broke his ankle.
Yeah, you're right.
And he did it totally wrong, man. I'm sorry. I say that as a humble fan.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. Yeah.
As an armchair quarterback, he did it all wrong. You could tell his feet hit first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And his landing
hit first, man, and that's the table's got to break your fall.
It's kind of like when I'm not sure if you remember Sting and Darby had that tag team match. Sting decided to go up the ladder and didn't take that jump, and his face just hits that table. It's just like, oh, come on, Sting, you're not supposed to be doing that, man. That was for Darby, but I guess you get that feel. You know what I mean? I'm not a professional wrestler, so but I guess you get that feel when they're their age, like, oh, I can still do it. I still got it.
Yeah.
It's definitely different. It's looking good.
We'll stand up and take a little break here.
Yeah, definitely.
Clean it off a little bit so you can see what we've got.
Perfect.
Do you do a lot of
cover-up tattoos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
approach those? Or is it some, I know it does it suck having to do work over other artists' work, or do you take pride in like fixing something that?
I mean, I like fixing something that was a problem.
Right.
But sometimes it's a big problem.
Do you have one where
you're like,
oh
man,
it's so difficult right now to fix, or do you find
usually get away?
The hard ones, man, are like tribal, old tribal tattoos.
Right.
Black and,
done by somebody that knew what they were doing, so the black is still black.
Right. How do you handle clients that like don't know what they want and they're like trying to figure it out? They know they want a tattoo, they're like all over the place.
I tell them to wait.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Like I don't. I'm tired of hearing people like, oh, my first tattoo, and I hate it.
Everybody hates their first tattoo. Like, you shouldn't hate it.
It's the reason why you got one, right?
Right. I mean,
That's
stop them from getting any more.
Yeah.
About you ever done like a meaningful tattoo, like something that
you're like
super proud of?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
memorial
tattoos are always like that.
Right.
They're always nice
to do for somebody or like a relative's handwriting or something like that.
They're like a certain style you don't like, you don't prefer doing.
Fine line stuff. I'm not a big fan of that little dainty.
Okay. It's like real quick type. You feel like kind of like wrestling for tattooing. Do you feel like it's gotten better over the years?
Oh, of course.
Just with all the equipment and stuff.
Technology is great. And now, we don't have to make our own needles, or people make those, or pigments made by chemists.
Okay. Nice. I see. Definitely got upgraded to the times, right?
Oh, for sure.
So like I guess are they tattoo guns correct?
Machines.
Tattoo machines. Different. Like would you say this is better than anything you've ever used in your career?
I wouldn't say it's the best, but I like it a lot.
Okay.
There are drawbacks to it.
Not many. It's just not nostalgic. There's no nostalgia on this little guy right here. But there's a lot of convenience.
I know your tattoo shop kind of has a great reputation, man. I know every time I was telling somebody else, hey, I'm going to tattoo like John Slater over there, tattoo Revival. Oh, that's a great shop. You take pride in the reputation that you have, and
for sure.
What makes you different? You feel like from other tattoo shops in Winston?
I mean, I think we all still like what we do.
Okay.
Not as much of a job.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it is, but most of the time it's still pretty fun, man.
How'd you what would you say your tattoo style is?
Oh man, I don't know. I try not to think about that too much.
How do you develop your tattoo style? How do you figure out this is the way I want to go? This is kind of art style.
Comics.
Okay.
I like that. Comic-y kind of cartoon.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. The reason I like tattooing so much in the beginning.
You have a tattoo out there that somebody has on your body that was just something that was super difficult for you to do?
Oh yeah. You remember what that piece was? It was a sleeve, a Japanese sleeve. Kind of had to calm him down a little bit at the end.
Oh damn.
Trying to shove a bunch of stuff in a really tiny little area. And, I mean, we got through it. It's a big sleeve, great sleeve.
Right.
You know, there's always going to come a point if you're doing a sleeve that you're going to have to say, okay, that's enough. That's enough.
Take a break.
Let's back up and regroup.
Yeah. You have any like? You remember your first tattoo you did in this shop?
In this shop?
Yeah. When you first opened up.
No. I remember the first tattoo I ever did.
What was that?
In a tattoo shop. It was on the piercer at the shop I was apprenticing at. My mentor just came in one day and said, hey man, if you want a tattoo one first.
Okay. What's the process like when they when a customer brings their drawing or something like that? Is it do you have to find yourself like redrawing it with them? Is it because like sometimes it may be too complicated or like too much into it?
Well, I think sometimes people that don't tattoo don't necessarily understand those concepts of space and detail and what you can do and can't do with somebody's skin.
Yeah.
It'd be like getting somebody to teach you how to be a lifeguard that doesn't know how to swim. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely. I definitely get what you mean. It's kind of like, telling a wrestler what to do with their character and everything, and you don't know the aspects. Right. Yeah. I definitely get that. And it sucks. You ever have somebody come in like, no, you don't know what you're doing, or you ever have somebody tell you that as a tattoo artist?
No, not in a long time. I have people nowadays with the internet. It's kind of hard, to tell somebody, hey, that's not really feasible.
Right.
I saw a picture on the internet.
I'm looking for that. Also, when do you want to work? And how we gonna, whenever you want to pick up.
They're not doing it another month?
We can. That's what I'm saying. When you asked, I was like, I can bring back to work at the end of the month.
Hey man, whatever works for you, dude, works for me.
Okay. He hasn't told me to pick up either. So.
Okay.
Then we'll just leave it.
All right. I'll go look for that.
All right. Thank you.
Find it difficult to be a tattoo artist and a shop owner at the same time?
Yeah.
You pick your days when you want to just do tattooing, and pick your days when you want to be boss, or is it?
Nope.
Every day.
Yep. You gotta do it every day, man. That's the hard part. Some days I don't feel like it.
I hear that.
What do you look for in a tattoo artist when you're going through the hiring process?
and stuff like that.
I'll leave their artwork, obviously.
Right.
But I want to know, like, are they motivated? Are they self-motivated? Am I going to have to be their cheerleader? You know, that kind of thing.
Kind of like I guess tattooing is kind of like you have to have a hustle too, right? You gotta get the customers in. You gotta sell your work so people come in and get tatted up. Do you have any students out there that learn from you? Any apprentices out there?
Over there is doing a tattoo shoot. My apprentice is just starting to tattoo on the skin.
Nice. How long is that process? Do you think it takes?
Usually it takes about a year.
What do you usually practice on?
Nowadays they have fake skin, but it's not like tattooing a person.
Okay.
But it did get her used to like holding the machine and where to put her hands and how to treat a stencil and things
right.
like that.
What was the most difficult thing you think you've learned or had to learn? Say, when you were doing tattoos.
Just dealing with people.
Different types of people.
Yeah. And really getting to what they're really looking for. Right. It's hard to get it out of people. Because they don't know us. They don't necessarily know the words that will help us.
Do you have a specific trend you wish, like when it comes to tattoos that people do that you wish kind of like stayed away? Like kind of like tattoo?
I'm trying to see chicks with little finger tattoos. Because they always look like shit. And we tell them that. Right. You know, like, I've got my fingers tattooed. You can see how it heals. And, what's all I want?
There's a specific part of the body you don't like, or that's like, when someone's going to get a tattoo there, like you tell me it's going to really hurt. The ribs. Yep. Why is that?
You've got guts in there, man. My body doesn't like it at all.
So you would say the ribs would be like the worst spot for somebody.
The worst spot of like spots that people actually pick,
Yeah. When you see like TV shows like Master and stuff like that, do you enjoy shows? Why is that?
Because it's not real.
Okay.
That's not real, man. That's not real at all. I tell people no all the time.
Yeah.
When they come in on something stupid in a stupid place. Nope. That's my option.
Right.
You don't have that option there. That's not real.
Definitely.
This whole, it's got to be done in this amount of time. That's also not real. Like, I just don't. To me, tattooing is not a competition.
Right.
It shouldn't be set up that way. And it gives people bad expectations. I mean, I've had people say to me, you have to do this. No, I fucking don't. You can't make me. Like I... Yeah.
So you would say like shows like that is just bad business?
For the most part. I mean, there are good things about it. For the most part, it's teaching people the wrong things about the business.
Got you. It doesn't give like a realistic.
No.
Which sucks. I could definitely see somebody coming in here and like, well, I saw this on Ink Master and I did it in 3 hours. Do you have a favorite tattoo artist you looked up to, or that's I guess not yourself?
Yeah, I really like a guy named Martin Cass.
Okay.
He started tattooing in North Carolina out at the coast. We got a bunch of flash in my old booth. I just really dig his stuff, man. I think it's cool. It's traditional enough, but it's not just replicating dead men's tattoos.
Yeah.
He's got his own style of doing it, his own way of doing it. I just think it looks cool.
If not North Carolina, is there a specific or another state you were thinking about transitioning to tattoos?
I don't know. Texas is my state.
Okay.
My brother lives out there, but
how long have you been a tattoo artist?
Since 2000.
Okay.
Shot.
Okay. How do you since I came 20 plus years.
Yeah.
How do you keep the skill so sharp? Is there stuff you do? Anything tips or anything you can tell people out there as a tattoo artist? that want to keep your skills sharp like you and doing it for another 20, 30 years, however long you want to keep doing this?
No, a lot, man.
Was it hard to keep your hands, learning how to keep your hands so steady?
Hey, buddy. No, not really. It's just part of the gig.
You have I guess not like what am I trying to ask you here? Do you have a favorite part of the body that you personally like tattooing?
I like tattooing calves because you don't have to stretch too much.
all the muscle down there.
Yeah.
Do you prefer somebody like? I guess
all body types are different, right? So someone's like super skinny, they feel more pain than like somebody like myself, or
it's all the same.
Okay.
It's all the same. Your nerves are the same. Distance from under your skin if you're chunky or skinny.
Right. Okay. That doesn't technically matter. Some people are like, oh, you should be fine. It's all the meat, fat and meat we have on your arms. You're not going to feel it. I can tell you right now, I definitely feel something.
Yeah. My stomach was the same way. I thought, oh man, I'm feeling some ways. I can do that bad. It was.
What's the most unusual tattoo you had to do?
Right. The most unusual one? I just gotta be tattooed. Yeah, I got this whole like bikini of Aquaman looking shit.
Yeah.
But it went down on a stick too. That's probably gonna always take the cake.
That is pretty weird or unusual to have somebody get that. Was it a good
out too? Like, I mean, because most people when they send me a message about something like that, I'm like, first of all, right. Secondly, you gotta come talk to me in person.
Yeah.
If you're serious about it, you'll do that. Most people don't.
Right.
Yeah. But it did. Ready to go, like, and of course, you know, I was like, well, I gotta fucking see what I'm working with here.
You ever get somebody criticize you for being a tattoo artist?
Not as much now, but I used to. My mother's a pastor, so.
Okay.
And I didn't get it from her. It wasn't from her. It was never from me.
How do you handle when you have a creative block? Do you not go through those? Like you're just like, oh man,
I go through it all the time, dude.
How do you take yourself out of those?
I just try to look at other people's stuff, man, and be inspired, be open to, be humble enough to be like, oh, this guy's really inspired me to do this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta kind of let that happen.
You ever fuck up?
Yeah, all the time.
How do you recover from those?
Quickly.
Before you figure it out.
I hear that.
Quietly.
You remember the first wrestling match you watched that got you into it?
It was. No.
You just
Rufus Freight Train Jones, but I can't remember who he was fighting. But I remember he put up $1,000 of his own money. At that time, $1,000 was a lot of money.
Yeah, he was.
But I can't remember the bad guy he was fighting.
That's probably definitely before my time.
Definitely can.
Oh yeah,
I was a little kid.
I obviously grew up through the era of the Von Erichs because of all the territorialism, all the devastating stories and all the stuff like that. During that time, do you feel like obviously I felt like people knew after a while, but like when the news first came out, do you feel like kayfabe
kind
kind of was.
Did you feel like
wrestling was in kayfabe? I was like, oh, there's no way
that he did that or that they did that, or was it like a very surreal, real thing when it had happened?
No, at that time I had seen wrestlers outside of wrestling.
Right.
So I wasn't all that shocked by
you know what I mean?
They're real people.
Right.
They all have their
demons or
I guess stuff. They're fighting outside of their sport. Their professional job.
Have you ever?
I know you met Dan Housing and the other wrestlers you met throughout your lifetime.
Yeah, met a lot. A lot of the older guys. Met Ivan Koloff at Walmart. He was taking pictures for the Children's Miracle Network.
That's cool.
At the Walmart in Greensboro.
That's a random spot.
Yeah.
You have a favorite wrestler that you didn't meet, like you had the chance to go meet that you actually
didn't.
Yeah.
I haven't met Sting yet.
I really want to.
I know he'll be at WrestleCade.
Yep.
We'll be at WrestleCade. Me and Brendan in the back over here. We were in New York going to Madison Square Garden show a few months back, and we went to go meet Jade and Bianca. I think we stood in line for about an hour, Brendan. About 2 hours. And we get to the front door. And security comes out. We're not letting anybody else in. We were just like, oh man. We were next to him. We were right there. We got to watch him walk out, but it still wasn't the same. It was just like, dang. There's a lot of people upset that day. So
We did get free tickets.
We did get free tickets. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, you're right about that. We did end up winning the free tickets. So
that was pretty cool. I felt like Stillman would have been that's the reason why we went. We didn't get the chance to do that. Hopefully one day we will. Are you going to WrestleCade this year?
Probably, yeah.
It's a pretty cool event. We went last year. We had a really good time meeting all the wrestlers that we were able to meet and stuff like that. We were trying to meet the Hardys, but when we heard the line was 4.5 hours long, and then the event's only like 6 hours. You're like, okay, well, not about to do all that.
Yeah, we got stuck in the room with Kane on the way out. So you came in here and went around, and then Kane was right here. Of course, most of the people in there, when you see Kane, I get it. But they stuck him right by the exit, so you couldn't get out. It took me like 30 minutes to get out. Finally, I just stuck my head in between the things, and I was like, hey dude, no, you don't know me. I'm getting ready to come through here, because I got to get out of this room. He kind of looked at me. I was like, no, I'm serious. I have to get out of this fucking room.
Yeah. They let you out?
Yeah. Because at first he was like, no. I was like, well, I'm coming anyway. Because I don't people very well.
Do you have any favorite storyline from wrestling that if someone asks you like, what's your favorite wrestling match or wrestling rivalries or like a specific storyline?
I mean, the Undertaker man, I loved that.
The whole brother.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Were you?
I guess so.
Since you knew the realism of wrestling, people find out that they weren't really brothers. Were you hurt by that?
They're not brothers.
What?
No. They're like half or something, right?
Yeah, I had people were
really upset. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean they're not related?
There can't be two tall guys not be related.
Do you think tattoos add to the wrestler's gimmick, like Randy Orton, like Randy Orton's tattoos? Do you think if he didn't have those tattoos, would it be like the Viper?
I mean, I think it adds a certain grit to the character. I definitely think it'd be different without them. For sure.
Okay, yeah.
For sure.
You have any like your top three? We'll go top three, maybe top five events that you would like to attend live.
WrestleMania for sure.
I really like to see a Royal Rumble. I think that'd be awesome to watch live.
Yeah, I've never been to a Mania Rumble. That'd be pretty cool.
Any Hell in a Cell match. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see it.
I'd like to see it on the side.
You ever watch?
I know you said you put Mick Foley
in your top 4.
in your top 4.
Mount Rushmore.
Did you get to see him live?
No.
I never got to see.
I never got to see.
You ever get to meet him?
You ever get to meet him?
He's gonna be a
He's gonna be a wrestler too.
He's a really nice. He's a really nice, humble guy to meet.
He's super awesome.
He's super awesome. Definitely laughs and smiles all the time.
What about You ever watch like Ricky Steamboat Dragon? You put Ric Flair in your Mount Rushmore. Have you gotten to play wrestling?
Oh yeah.
A lot when I was a kid.
I mean, back when it was the territories,
they were having.
You
know, it was once a month.
Yeah.
At Greensboro Coliseum, go see something.
Were you surprised that
Ric Flair like
when I got into wrestling?
Wrestling was really big in my family, and
when I got into Ric Flair,
obviously he was much older than he was.
But I remember one time I was watching.
He was out there with Triple H playing the promo. My dad comes into my room.
You watch?
He's like, "What are you watching?" I'm just watching wrestling.
He sees Ric Flair.
Ric Flair's still wrestling.
Were you surprised
about how like Ric Flair transitioned through all the eras and generations of wrestling,
and how old he was when he kept going?
Or
was there a specific time where you were like, all right,
you gotta hang it up, man?
A couple times.
Several times.
I was like, all right, God, this has got to be. I mean, I understand.
Yeah, love for the business.
You get the edge.
I feel like there was a few times too.
I guess when I was younger, I really didn't understand. You know, he was.
What it made it seem like he might have been like 40,
in his early 40s, late 50s, or I should say late 40s.
But really, he was 60,
pushing up there.
And then
I guess I didn't really realize until I got older, he was really slow.
And then he had that phenomenal match with Shawn Michaels. His last match was really good. Do you have a favorite
WrestleMania match that you just
caught your eye?
That match was just awesome.
No, not really. I liked the
King of the Ring.
King of the Ring was Stone Cold.
Yeah, Jake the Snake at the end. That's when he cut that
famous 316 promo.
I thought that was
really cool.
But I'm a big
Jake the Snake fan too.
What about? I know you're a fan of Taker. What was your reaction when Lesnar beat him that year?
I think they could have given him somebody better
than Lesnar.
Yeah.
Who would you have? Who would you have put in that ring with him to take his streak if somebody was going to take it?
Honestly, just for a storyline's sake, probably Kane.
Okay.
You know, I'm not saying I don't like Lesnar.
But at the time, he had not built himself up.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman had built him up to what he became.
Yeah.
He was still relatively new to the scene.
I felt like it was almost going to be Shawn Michaels at the time. They had their first one, and then Triple H wrestled him. In honor of Shawn, back to wrestling again. And I was like, okay, Shawn's really going to do it this time. He had the awesome like angel entrance. Oh yeah, he was really going to do it. And I know it's rumored that they said John Cena, but they said John Cena declined because he felt like that shouldn't be broken. Then you watch like all the documentaries that came out about it, saying that Taker was actually concussed, and he's the one who told Lesnar to do it so they could just get him out of the ring. But I feel like that's something that I feel like it shouldn't just have been broken. You feel like it should have been undefeated his entire career at WrestleMania. And they took something from him. They took it, and then he loses to guys like Roman. He starts just losing. And I feel like he couldn't even did Mankind. You know what I mean? Like Mankind comes and finally gets one over on Taker after all the harsh things he's done to him in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Their boiler
match.
Boiler ring
match was actually pretty fun.
You could have a. Is there a specific wrestling belt that you just the style that you love? Like mine personally is the World Heavyweight Championship. I thought my personal opinion, that's like the greatest belt in wrestling history. The World Heavyweight Championship. Just the design of it, how big it was, the big gold engraving on it.
The eagle.
No,
that's the one. I like the big eagle.
The big eagle. That's everything. Everybody loves the big eagle.
That was one Flair had for so long.
I feel like feel like the Big Eagle.
Is up there. If you don't like the World Heavyweight Championship, it was like that was the next title. For me, it was after that. It's I like the spinner. I when John Cena put the spinner out. A lot of people thought it was like cliche, corny. I thought it was awesome. I thought that was the coolest thing.
He got with the times.
And just
decided to change it, which was really cool. How do you balance your passion for professional wrestling and tattooing? When wrestling is on television, stop drawing. You just lock in.
It depends on what it is. If it's Monday Night Raw, I'm watching NXT. I'll sit there and draw and listen to it. And if something cool starts happening, I'll stop.
AEW's
kind of the same way. I'll listen to it.
What about SmackDown?
Finish SmackDown?
Actually,
I have started
since
Jey Uso
back on SmackDown.
Started watching it.
You ever do any
WWE logos or wrestling logo tattoos?
No, I have not
done the logo.
You feel like you could have drawn a better logo for WWE when they transitioned from FTE?
Nah, it's not a bad one, man. Gave up advertising. Commercial art was not for me.
I hear that. Do you think storylines in wrestling kind of are similar to storylines with stories with tattoos? Like, do you think? Would you rather have somebody can get a tattoo that's more like memorable, has a story to it, or
just like getting something
just to get something?
Yeah, definitely. It has to mean.
It's gonna mean more to me to do. It's gonna mean more for you to wear.
Right.
So I'm assuming. You said you're always gonna watch Raw. Your favorite promotion out right now is that Monday nights is the nights you're locked in. Got to see what's going on.
Yeah.
What attracts you to Monday Night Raw right now?
Honestly, mostly because I'm off on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Makes sense.
I could always stay up and watch the end of Raw.
Yeah,
because I don't have to be at work the next day.
Well, it's 2 hours right now, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, now it's like, what do I do for this extra hour?
Right now that I'm up.
Yeah.
I know you named your Mount Rushmore, but do you have an all-time favorite wrestler?
Ooh. Nah, that's too hard.
That one's too hard?
That's too hard to narrow it down to just one, man. Because they change.
Yeah.
They change a lot.
I guess through the different eras?
Yeah.
So,
well, not only that, but just through time, like the character itself will change.
Okay. And you don't like what they transition to? Or I guess
it's just different.
Right.
You know? I mean, how many times? Well, you don't know. I was going to say, how many times did Nikita Koloff end up teaming with Magnum TA?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Or Ric Flair was with the Horsemen and then him and Dusty were tag team partners. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to really pin one down.
Did you have? Was there a specific wrestler that you didn't like and that like people loved and you didn't see why?
Hulk Hogan.
Okay, Hulk Hogan.
Man, I never understood that. I just never got it.
What was it about? Was it just corny for you? Was it just not cool? Was it not believable? Or was it just was it one of those, like for me, I really, really do think Hogan was just like super over the top.
Yeah.
Like everything was just exaggerated.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like also at that time, that's how, wrestling was. It was exaggerated. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he just really took it over the top. And, he's one of those people I feel like started the only reason why he got the title is because he was so over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because his wrestling skills are super subpar.
It wasn't really great. I mean, his finishing move was a fucking leg drop.
Yes, dude. I agree with you. How could a leg drop take you out?
Right.
Yeah, and then the whole, like people, I know people like to complain about like the no selling. But Hulk Hogan, no sold a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Pumping up and kicking out of their finisher. Kicking out of their finisher and one kick out and getting pumped up with the crowd. Yeah, Hulk Hogan. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I just feel like he was definitely over the top. He's a little overrated. No, definitely overrated. Not even a little overrated. Definitely overrated. Anybody else besides Hulk Hogan that came out? He was like, oh man, this guy's just whack.
No, not that well, I'm not a big fan of Nia Jax right now.
Oh, really?
Nah.
Why is that?
I just don't think she's that good. She's just big. Like Andre, you know what I mean? Like, Andre wasn't that great a wrestler. He was just a big dude.
Yeah. I think I didn't like Nia's first run. I think now that since she's been back, it's been better. Like, she's gotten better.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see what you're saying. Like, she's definitely just, she's just a big girl, powerhouse, but the moves are subpar. And it's only because she's big.
Yeah.
Me and my brother, when we talk about big wrestlers, we like to name guys like Dijakovac or even Keith Lee.
Yeah.
These guys they change the dynamic of big boy wrestling. It's more than just powerhouse moves. It's if I want to do a flip, I can do a flip. I could jump off the top rope. I could do everything that the little guy can do. And I know a lot of fans don't like it when the big guys do that. Do you mind it like when they're doing
No,
those
I
things?
love it when they do stuff like that.
Some people might feel like it takes away from the little guy. Like if the 300-pounder does a backflip, now the little guy's got to do 2 backflips to look cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm with you, man. I enjoy it. I think it's I feel like they changed their way of wrestling, but then they're doing something that you wouldn't think. So you're getting one of those like, oh my God moments, or oh, that was really cool that he decided to go up there. Like Bronson Reed, for example, the way he goes up to the top rope and doesn't care. He's going to get up there as a big guy. He's going to jump off the top rope. Dijakovac, the way he could just dive off the top, just off the top like that. So, and then you got guys like Keith Lee who go out there and do a senton or a backflip on you, and you're just like, wow, this 6'7" guy shouldn't be doing all that, And some people don't like it, but I feel like the people that don't like it, they want to see guys like Big Show or like Diesel, even like Great Khali. He was subpar wrestler, but he was just really big, scary guy.
Yeah.
And I never really understood the hype behind the Great Khali, but they really tried to build him up. I'm not sure if you remember this, but I remember like he had a match against Big Show one day or one night on SmackDown, and I forgot it was like a Hell in a Cell match, but it was his type of version of the Hell in a Cell, and comes out and like Big Show's just balling on television. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be the 7-foot giant. Why are you crying on TV? Were you a fan of the Great Khali when he was out?
No.
I feel like a lot of people
I didn't like El Gigante either.
What about I know a lot of people don't like him too. Is we spoke about Kevin Nash. Were you a fan of the Big Show? No, no big guy wrestling was out there like.
I mean, the big guys just don't seem to be able to move around.
Right.
I mean, look at Braun Strowman. Jesus Christ, man! Did he hurt his hip or something?
He's another big guy.
As much as I want to like him, he's from North Carolina and all that shit, man. Mm-hmm. He moves like he's in pain.
You can see it. Like, he limps a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a toll on his body, especially doing all the wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure it does, but damn, bro.
Any other wrestlers you're not a fan of right now that you're just like, I don't see why people see the hype in them?
I'm not a big fan of Bronson Reed.
Okay. A lot of people aren't.
I think he's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
I can't take that away from him. But there's just something about him I can't. And I think it's because I read an article about he had put out a statement or something like, don't fucking send stuff to my house. Yeah. Send it all through WWE. Don't send it to my house. And I was just kind of like, fuck you.
It's not for the WWE. It's for you.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. People dig what you do. Let them.
What about CM Punk? You a fan of him?
I used to hate that guy. And now he's won me over.
What made you hate him? Was it the whole him like quitting on WWE and shitting on?
Well, that and the straight edge thing. And,
okay.
But
now a fan of him?
Yeah. Yeah. Now I dig him.
But Drew McIntyre.
I like Drew now more than since he's a heel.
Okay.
A lot more.
feel like a lot of people switched over when he became a heel.
Yeah.
Because his little face run or whatever he was trying to do just wasn't working.
No.
I think it was really we have a co-host that say, you can't be like a good guy and wear like a leather kilt because that's just not cool. So he would just hate on Drew McIntyre just because he wore a leather kilt.
Yeah.
And he said it's the dumbest thing. So he's like, I can't buy into this guy.
That's funny.
Are you a fan of let's see, we talk some Raw guys to see if we could switch over to SmackDown. You said you like the Usos, you like Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens?
Yeah. I love Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is great. I feel like anything he's a part of, he's always doing something really good.
Yeah.
Just makes it work. Sami Zayn?
Yep. I even like El Generico.
A lot of people don't know that one. You like Daniel Bryan, or are you more a fan of this Bryan Danielson on AEW?
I never really got into that guy that much.
Okay.
I didn't like his run and jump and kick style of wrestling. That wasn't
is like technical.
I mean, I liked the moves. What was the one he did? The Bulldog something or other. They call it something else. I like those kinds of mat moves.
Okay.
I dug that, but like as far as when he wasn't on the mat, like he was just running and jumping,
right,
kicking at people. He wasn't, I don't know.
What about like Jay Cargill? Do you think I'm somebody who thinks she was showcased better at AEW than she is with WWE right now?
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
And only because they gave her such a powerhouse gimmick at AEW, and
yeah, her gimmick was she had the fucking belt.
Right. And I know she's got the gold here in the WWE, but just part of me really feels like Bianca Belair should be doing bigger and better things, solo wise,
Yeah.
But I get it; they're trying to get Jade into the business and shape her. But I just feel like they're not bending her right. And I'm waiting for. Well, waiting. I guess I'm being patient, for her time to come and when she gets her solo run. And I'm hoping it's sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people may just forget about her, and because they're bringing in girls like Julia, Stephanie Valkyrie, and now Zarya. NXT is stacking up on the woman roster, and so I'm trying to figure out like where does she fit in all this, because it's kind of hard, especially when you got girls like Tiffany Stratton, who's just become a stud for the WWE. Like, I don't think anybody saw that coming, and she's fantastic. So I think Jade might find herself in a harder situation, but I could be wrong. But I truly do think Tony Khan did a better job at displaying her and showcasing her than what Triple H is doing right now.
Yeah. Well, and I think they're just kind of making her earn her stripes.
Yeah. How do you feel about Triple H being the boss man now? I know you're so used to, Mr. Kennedy and doing all the things that he did.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Triple H, this new Triple H era or Hunter era, is better, or is going to be better than anything we've already seen from the WWE?
I mean, I hope it will, because they have a different perspective on things now.
Right.
That's actually been in the ring had a long career.
I hear that.
I hope it ends up being better.
Would you ever imagine, or like as a fan when you were growing up, did you ever tell yourself, "Oh, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, those two guys right there, they're going to be running this business"?
No.
I feel like nobody ever saw, them selling the WWE, and I think that it happened. It was kind of surreal.
Yeah.
So it's a little different because I think we were so used to seeing what we were seeing, right, with what Vince was doing, and everything like that, and now we got a whole new dynamic and all these other things and different pay-per-views and kind of a different style of wrestling. You could kind of see I feel like WWE is trying to transition, kind of not as fast paced as AEW, but they're trying to get there, but still have a lot of entertainment in their shows.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like Carmelo Hayes, like a favorite rookie that's that you watch? Are you a fan of like Will Ospreay?
Yeah, I like Will Ospreay a lot, man. I think he's a good wrestler. And I mentioned his name before, but Orange Cassidy, I think he's a fucking.
I like Orange.
A good wrestler. I liked him when he was what was it, Fire Ant?
Yeah. I think
cool.
what's so interesting about Orange Cassidy is that his gimmick is he doesn't care, but he's truly a good wrestler.
Yeah,
and he does care to a certain extent.
Oh yeah,
and I think we're finally getting to see him care more.
Yeah,
than anything in this storyline with that he's doing in AEW.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you watch any TNA right now? You know, I guess they got like a little partnership with.
No, but I saw that didn't the Hardys just win the
tag team titles?
So I may have to start watching that.
Fan of the Hardys?
Yeah.
You don't think they should hang it up?
Yeah, eventually everybody does. And this might be their time.
I mean, you got guys like Bubba Ray Dudley still wrestling out there.
Yeah.
I think he has a match on NXT coming up soon. I feel like guys like him, just go ahead and just give it up. But, apparently JBL's out there. He's coming back. He wants to have a last hurrah.
Yeah.
And Goldberg. Were you a fan of Goldberg?
No.
I don't think anybody.
That was the one thing I agreed with Bret Hart on. Goldberg is a terrible wrestler.
What didn't you like about
him? That they gave him such a run in the beginning.
Yeah. And they gave him the undefeated.
Yeah, I mean it was just squash after squash, but it wasn't even good squash matches, because he wasn't that good of a wrestler. He had 3 moves, and if you were lucky, he wouldn't kick your teeth out of your fucking
head, injure you.
I mean I just wasn't a fan of the unbeatable monster. Shut up.
And he's one of those guys, Julie. He always felt like he had to go over. And he wasn't going to really put nobody over.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of respect for him when they let Asuka beat his reign of holding a title for the longest. He was really upset about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, I can't believe y'all let a female do that. It's just like, come on, dude. Just show some respect for a great wrestler like Asuka,
Yeah. It's not all about you, Bill.
It's not all about you. I think his son just became his son's wrestling too, so we might see another version of Bill Goldberg. Were you a fan of Mark Henry?
Yeah, I love Mark Henry.
I like powerhouse guys like Mark Henry. I'm a fan of I like Bronson Reed. I am a fan of him.
Yeah.
Powerhouse Hobbs. He's pretty decent for a big guy. I was really upset when he couldn't pick up the Big Show, but it's understandable, I guess. What about Felt that one right there. What about the second generational stars like God, why am I having a blank right now? Intercontinental Champion.
Gunther?
No. The one that just beat Jey Uso again. Why can't I think of his name? What's his name?
Oh. Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker. Yes, Braun Breaker. Yeah. Do you think he's better than his father and uncle?
I don't know. I mean, he just got there.
Are you a fan of the Steiners?
The Steiners, yeah.
Big Pump of Pump?
Not so much Scott as I was Rick. I really liked Rick Steiner.
Yeah, Rick was good. Who's your favorite tag team?
Oh, man.
Or if we did a Mount Rushmore of tag teams.
Rick Rude and Manny Fernandez.
Okay.
I thought they were my favorite tag team growing up. I mean, obviously not including the Road Warriors.
Right.
I remember when Sting and the Ultimate Warrior were partners.
Mm-hmm.
They were the Blade Runners. That was back during the territories. They were pretty cool. I liked the New Breed. I don't know if you ever heard of them or not.
New Breed. Now, who's that with?
They were with Mid-Atlantic, I believe.
Okay.
They were pretty young dudes. Relatively young to be in the business. I liked them. They had a different gimmick about them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to look them up too. You already gave me 2 wrestlers. I gotta look up and definitely check out. any other favorite tag teams? What about nowadays? Were you a fan of? I guess fan of the Hardys.
Yeah. I really like the Lucha Brothers.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. Yeah, they're really good.
We like them.
Sucks that they're departing.
Yeah.
From AEW.
I just hope WWE uses them well.
Oh yeah, you and I both. And I think they will. The Motor City Machine Guns just went over there, so
yeah, they got the belts right off the bat.
Right, yeah, so. 3 matches in. So it's just tag team wrestling isn't it just isn't what it used to be. It's just not the same.
Let's take a break for a minute. Here's Barbara up.
Time to do some shading. Yeah. Now the paint gets more unbearable. I'm just joking. No, yeah, like I told you, when he got like close up to the armpit area to shoulder, I was like, ooh, okay, I feel that one.
That's where it goes hard. Yeah. It's just a little thing.
Not too bad. It's like, you ever get attacked by bees?
No, I haven't.
No, that's what it feels like, yeah. If they're like very like just one by one, just taking their time stinging you, just pin.
I was biking with with that group of Filipinos, and they stepped on a wasp nest, or no, what do you call them? Just the normal bees that sting.
Bees.
Yeah, they stepped, bro. They got tore up. He got stung like 15 times.
Is any wrestler specifically giving you any inspiration? Tattooing?
I mean, I've done the sheet of Dennis and Flash.
Okay. That's pretty cool. When you take your time to draw, what are you drawing most? Just like drawings, just like freestyling, or is it like next tattoos?
It's usually next tattoos, but I try to draw Flash and stuff in between those when I have time. Just so people can see the things that I like to draw when I draw.
Right.
Necessarily without a purpose.
When it comes to tattooing, are you? I know some people can be like, oh, I'm the best of the best. You really can't teach me anything. Right. Yeah. Do you love when you see somebody doing something, you're like, oh man, that's like I should start doing that.
I'm gonna start. Yeah.
Does it happen a lot for you, or?
Yeah, and the internet helps that, man.
Right.
A lot.
You ever gotten argued with your mom?
Have you ever done any like conventions or gone to like the?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I worked at Little John's, we hosted the North Carolina convention for years.
Okay. Do you prefer stuff like that, like when all these tattoo artists come together and they do like a whole? I think what is it? The fairgrounds does like a tattoo, like a little fair, and you can go there and get tatted with a whole bunch of artists out there. And do you think like that's good for business and stuff like that? And people come together than your average like TV show or people trying to get on a TV show?
For sure.
Would you prefer your own space like we are today, or you don't mind?
I mean, I like my space, dude. All my stuff's here,
Yeah.
It's hard to beat.
Oh.
Are you the only tattooer in your family?
Yeah.
Do you give most of your family members the tattoos that they have, or do they go to somebody else?
No, I tattoo my siblings a lot. My brothers mostly.
You have a son, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Your son you never try to get him down the line of becoming a tattoo artist?
He never really had much interest in it.
Okay.
I think because he grew up around it, it wasn't cool.
Okay.
I don't. He just didn't.
Have you done any pieces on him?
Oh yeah, all his tattoos.
All his tattoos? Okay. Well then he has that, he's giving you that trust.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, at least you would hope so.
But this one, I really want to work with the guy to be one continuous smooth piece. Yeah. That's why I want to go with the legs next. I really want to get my whole leg tatted up. And then that's where I think I'm going next. That's why.
My other thing is actually like clashing They have Mexican here. Asian here.
If you could design a tattoo for any wrestler, past or present, who would it be, and what would your design be for them?
Be cool to do a snake on Jake.
Hit a snake?
Yeah. Or a snake.
Where would you put it?
On his arm somewhere.
I'm thinking sort of similar to this.
That'd be a cool one.
Yeah.
But then from there, that's the thing. I have no idea after that. I have no idea what I want to do.
Have you done any face tattoos?
Oh yeah.
Skull tattoos?
Mm-hmm.
How's the would you rather, is skull and face kind of the same like amount of pain, or would you say one is different?
You talking about getting your head tattooed?
Yeah.
It's a little different than your face, man. It rattles your whole skull.
Yeah, I would imagine. You have to go clean shaved bald, right, for it to work?
Yep.
Is that why like the hair gets shaved off? You ever have somebody tell you like, oh no, you can't shave that from my leg or my arm?
I've had people try it. You have to.
It's not happening.
There's no way around it.
What about spinal tattoos? You ever done any of those?
Oh yeah.
I see, like, like Rey Mysterio has the whole spine.
Mm-hmm.
You ever do something like that?
Not quite to that extent.
Not to that extent. What about you? Do you have a spinal tattoo? Back tattoo? Is that the only place on your body that's not currently tattooed?
And I have one little small one at the top of my back in the middle, but I'm very ticklish.
Okay.
So I haven't gotten my back tattooed yet.
Do you plan on to or no?
I want to.
You have an idea of what you might want to get?
Yeah. I just don't want it to be like a hassle for somebody to tattoo my back.
Right. What's your biggest piece on your body now?
I don't know, man.
All kind of like, which do you get both sleeves done at the same time, or is it like
they were over years.
just one here, one there, and just keep filling in?
Yeah.
When you're looking at tattoos, what do you want? Like, what do you look for when you're getting one? Do you just go with something that you mostly like, or do you kind of keep? I know like people like to keep a like a genre going. Yeah.
No, I just get what I like, man. What I want to get at the time. I don't. Rules aren't. I don't care about it.
Right.
Nobody gets into tattooing because they like people telling them what to do.
So that's all I'm like, well, this isn't what you got now. Like, he does the thing where he'll do the line work one day and then he'll do the shit. And I do want to sit there and get it done.
You have any any advice for anybody who's like just starting up and wants to do it, and like a street tattoo or something like that, somebody who's doing it from their home and wants to expand or anything like that?
Get an apprenticeship. Get an apprenticeship, man. So people know you're serious. You can actually learn some things from other people, man.
Right.
I don't feel like working in even if it's your house, man, by yourself all the time, it's not good for you. You get stale.
Can you tell when somebody's gotten like a house tattoo done compared to like are those the ones that like people come in and ask them to clean up for them most of the time? What's the difference, do you think, mostly? Is it like the tattooer themselves, or is it the equipment?
It's all of it, man. I mean, would you go to a part-time dentist?
Right.
A guy that fucking, I don't know, is a roofer during the week.
Yeah. I get your point. Do you feel like, I guess street tattooing kind of is like bad for business because of like people get sick, or gives like a bad image and name for people like you? I mean, I guess you could say you were like once in their shoes, right? But like you said, you wanted to take it serious, you wanted to do it the right way, professionally, and
And everybody eventually is going to come to that, whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Because in a sense, you want to do it if you do fuck up, you know what I mean? And somebody can take legal action on you or something like that, and you're not sure. I remember, I guess like you said, things are made now. I know like back in the day, people would say like, oh, if you're gonna get a tattoo, make sure everything's clean, make sure it's brand new needles, it's all this other stuff. Do you remember that time that like things transitioned? Like you were like, oh, these things, like this is what it is. Like, this is perfect. Like, do you remember having to clean your own needles?
No, we never reused needles.
Okay.
Never have reused needles. I've had to make my own needles.
How's that work?
You have a jig that you lay the needles out, and they all fit in the jig, and then you solder them together.
Okay.
Then you solder them on a bar.
So if that was done right, that could potentially. What does that do? Like mess up your line, or does it just? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there like how do you determine if somebody gets color or not? Like is there like specifics to like saying, okay, this tattoo is just gonna look good as an outline black and white, or this color, this tattoo truly needs color to stick out and blend, or is it more just like a preference?
It's just more of a preference.
Do you prefer tattoos to be colored in?
I like working with color. Yeah, I really do.
Do you think it's important for like? For an example, I'll use you and Di as an example. Like you said, you like to meet the person, make sure that they're real about it and everything. And we met before doing this. But do you think it's important to have like a good relationship with the client? As they're on the chair, standing down, doing this, or do you just come in, sit down, get the tattoo done? You ever have like a session where you're not talking to anybody?
Yeah, I mean sometimes it happens, but I try to connect with my clients as much as I can.
Right.
I'm marking them permanently. It's not lost on me.
Yeah. You ever been out and just like randomly seen somebody that you did a tattoo on, they don't even know it's you, but you're like, hey, I did that piece right there?
Usually they know it's me. I got a pretty memorable face.
So do you run into most people often that you've done work on, or
sometimes?
Sometimes,
yeah, it happens.
Ever have anybody pass out on you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It doesn't happen as much now as it used to. I'm a little bit better at seeing signs.
Is it all about technique? I know people like, my wife has tattoos and she, like we'll go look at some tattoos and stuff and she'll be like, oh, that person's like really heavy-handed. Do you think, is that an actual thing? Like somebody just digging in? Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, you're doing a phenomenal job. I feel it, but I don't feel it I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What kind of, I guess, you need to develop some type of patience to do this. Anything else that you kind of have to have or learn how to grow with when it becomes to become a tattoo artist?
Patience and discipline, man. Discipline. You gotta have some discipline about yourself, because we get paid every day, man.
Right.
You go out to the bar and fuck your night up if you want to, or you can go home and draw for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Either one's feasible.
How hard are you on yourself when it comes to like doing a tattoo? Like, have you ever done one and you're like, damn, I could have done better, or
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Is there a difference in the inks you're using? Like, I know you lined me up with the black, and now I see you shading with the black. Is there?
Yeah, they're just different tones of gray.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mixed down with water.
Do you mix those colors yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard for you to I guess not. Is it difficult to find colors that match well when it comes to like the tattoos, or do you kind of know which like?
I know the ones that I've liked that I've been using.
Okay. Do you have a favorite brand of equipment you like using? Or is it all about the same?
Not necessarily. It's all pretty close to the same, man.
What about like when you see like the old school tattoos of like, I guess it's the Indian way, I might be wrong, but it's like the whole pecking?
Tapped in.
Yeah. You ever do anything like that? Yeah?
My throat was done that way.
Oh, really?
It wasn't tapped, and the guy was holding the needle and just poked it in.
Yeah. What was that like? Different?
It took a long time, and it was right here, so like
Okay,
it was weird laying my head off the table, and it felt weird laying there, like this guy's got a fucking needle in his hand.
What made you do the mouth tattoo and the face tattoo? Just
Those are the tattoos I saw when I was a little kid. My grandparents always made sure I had a National Geographic subscription, and those are just the ones I saw.
okay.
You know, doing all the crazy African tribes people, and I was like, I fucking like that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get that.
So one day I'm gonna do that.
You said the one under your chin was hurt. That the most, I guess the one that hurt the most out of all the tattoos you have? So you wouldn't recommend the chin to anybody? I guess that's good though, like if you have a customer come in, right, and they want a chin tattoo, you could actually tell them from experience, like, alright, it's gonna hurt.
This is gonna be real fucking bad.
Are you sure you want it?
Yeah. Or it's going to hurt you.
I see you got a lot of Star Wars stuff you've done. How many Star Wars tattoos have you got?
Oh god, I don't know.
Is that the Wookiee with the Wu-Tang chain? Is that yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there for a while I did a bunch of Star Wars like Lego figures.
Yeah.
A bunch of them. That was my thing at conventions.
Okay. You don't do you still do conventions now, or
Nah, they're not as fun as they used to be, man.
why is that?
I don't know. There used to be like big family reunions, and now they're just, I don't know, they just are.
Now it seems like actual work.
Well, it's more of a fucking, just a contest, I guess.
Who could do the most, or do the best?
Biggest, or who wins the most trophies, or white people to fuck.
Right. It should really be about the work and get the work itself.
Yeah.
Right. How many samurai masks have you done?
I've done a bunch. I've done a lot of Japanese stuff.
Would you say that's like the biggest trend of tattoos that people get is Japanese, or?
No. Nowadays it's little floral bouquets and shit.
Yeah. Ones I've really never understood is like the blackouts.
Yeah.
I just don't see how they thought that was a really cool tattoo. You ever do a blackout tattoo? No.
I've done some big black work, but I've never done like a full blackout, like an arm or something like that.
Right. Or like the ones where it's like the force just coming out of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now you got like guys that get put to sleep. What do you think about stuff like that? And they have like 5, 6 5, 6 tattoo artists, just tatting them up a whole back, arms.
That's fucking whack shit, man. You shouldn't have to sit through it. That's just how I feel about it.
I feel that. When you wake up, I guess, in a lot of pain.
In shock. Probably in shock, man.
I can't imagine I wake up.
No.
Yeah, that wake up would be crazy.
Like, I can't. It probably hurts so much.
Yeah.
I was telling the guys, I was like, maybe I'll come in here and ask him to put me asleep while he does this tattoo.
You couldn't afford it. Anesthesiologist makes some money, dude.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You ever thought about getting into the wrestling business? Like while you were growing up? Or
Oh, yeah. There was a time when I thought about it. I had just started tattooing.
You wanted to be a wrestler manager?
Wrestling. Yeah, and the dude was like, he was serious about it. My mentor was like, you're going to fuck your hands up.
So you had to make a decision right there.
Right, man. You're probably
Did you already have your gimmick and everything? Did you?
No.
Would you have been a tattoo artist? Come out to the ring? So almost joined the professional wrestling business if it wasn't for your mentor.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess.
They had little dudes in there, man. Like, it was kind of crazy.
That'd be a different story than what we'd be telling right now.
Yeah, right.
Well, I was a tattoo artist, and then I became a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Did you take any? Did you go to any classes, training?
Yeah, a little bit.
Took a few bumps.
Yeah, I know what it feels like.
Yeah, my cousin's a wrestler. And I remember the first time I ever got into the ring with him, he taught me how to lock up and showed me how to run the ropes, take a bump, and then he gave me a chop, and I was just like, oh man, you know what?
I think I'm good.
I think being a fan of it
was the first time I hit the ropes, and I was like, ow. Fuck, that hurt. Is that supposed to hurt?
Yeah. I thought this was a mat.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time somebody told you wrestling was fake?
Oh, yeah, the first time I told somebody I watched wrestling. They were like, that's fake. I'm like, oh, shit.
You remember the first time when you figured it out? It was, it was all entertainment. It was all...
Oh, yeah. I was a kid.
Okay. Did somebody explain it to you, or did you just figure it out?
I just figured it out, watching or reading the magazines and things like that.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have the internet,
It's always surreal. I feel like even to this day, when somebody hears you watch wrestling, they're like, "Oh, it's all fake, right?" It's just like, yeah, man.
Like, no shit. You know what else is fake? Every fucking thing on TV. Every movie you've ever watched, they're all fake. They're fake, right?
Your guy Iron Man, that's not a real person.
That's not him. He's not really Tony Stark.
I feel like that's like their number one go-to. Oh, you still watch that? You know it's fake, right? It's just like, yeah, I know it's entertainment. It's a show.
You mean the pageantry?
You mean they're really not champion of the world?
I don't know. Those sequins on that road look pretty real to me.
That chop looked pretty real.
Yeah.
My cousin's like that. He, like I said, he's a professional wrestler. He's one of those guys. Oh, it's not real. Okay, let me chop you.
Yeah.
And then you tell me if this is real or not.
Well, even if I know you're gonna body slam me,
yeah,
you're still gonna fucking body slam me.
It's like I try to tell everyone, it's like the storyline and the aspect of it might be, fake or predetermined,
scripted or whatever.
Yeah, but the moves and everything else that they're doing in that ring is 100% real, and they truly do get hurt. I remember I had a conversation with somebody, and we were talking about a wrestler breaking his ankle, and he was like, "Oh, well, that's fake, right?" And I'm like, "No, you can't fake that, man."
Yeah.
Like, watch this replay. Look at his ankle.
That's broke as shit.
He really broke that. There's no faking that. And he's just like, "Oh, it's all part of the story, man. That's what they want you to believe." It's just like, no,
not that far into
right.
it, bud.
That's how people, if you get wrestling, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But I always try to tell people, just give it a try. Try to understand what they're doing and what it is. And I think it's always cool when somebody watches wrestling and they finally understand it. Like, oh, okay, I get it. This is a bad guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah, they're telling the story.
They're telling the story. Like Brennan, for example, he wasn't a big AEW guy, and I'm a big AEW guy. I'm a fan of it. I like what they do, with their promotion and everything. I try to tell them, like, man, just watch it. I was like, it's not WWE. Yes, you're right. It's not as entertaining, but just watch the wrestling. Just watch the athletic part of it and watch what these guys are doing now. Huge fan of AEW. He can sit there and watch it, and he has his favorites. Still a fan, of WWE, and I think that's everybody's go-to because, like you said, it's just been around forever, and they're top dog, and you can never forget them and everything that they've done for wrestling. So it's different, and you said earlier, AEW gave a different platform and a different stage for these guys to do something, and on a bigger stage too. That's not indie wrestling. That's not in a high school gym.
Mm-hmm.
You're still kind of in an arena, not as big as WWE, but I feel like eventually it'll get there, right? I feel like people shit on AEW a lot, but it's only 5 years in.
Yeah.
Got to give it a try. Let them try it out, and they've lasted longer than WCW, so I guess Tony Khan is doing something right. Doing something right. And I don't think there's a threat of it being bought out now because I don't think TKO has plans for that. Do you think now we might see a collaboration between the two, or do you think that'll never happen?
I don't think that'll happen.
I feel like it'd be pretty cool if you can get the Shield back in the same ring.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
A
story between Seth Rollins and now John Moxley, I think would be they have that Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm. New Japan.
Yeah. So maybe if you could add WWE, it'd be pretty interesting. But I think you're right. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But it could. Who knows? Triple H loves to make money, so
yeah.
And so does Tony Khan. And if it makes money, it makes sense.
Yeah.
How long did you go to that session?
You ever get somebody who just bleeds a lot?
Oh yeah.
How does that usually happen? Is it like
their diet is usually terrible?
Okay.
That's usually it.
I saw you even told me to make sure I hydrate before doing this. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, man. All this adrenaline that your body's kicking off, you're gonna burn those calories up.
Okay.
So we need them to be there. Your blood sugar, you don't want it to drop too much. That'll contribute to a pass out.
How do you handle that when somebody passes out or anything like that?
Usually if you pass out, we're done for the day.
Okay.
Just because I don't want you to go in shock.
Right.
But I gotta wake you up and get you some sugar, get your blood sugar back up, that kind of thing. You
ever have anybody decline your design or say no?
Yeah.
It's not that good.
It doesn't happen often, but I have had it happen.
When you go ahead and redraw something like you did this one right here, what kind of aspects do you put into it? Do you try to keep the original design of what the person might want?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then add your own twist to it, or do you just keep that?
I mean, I like to put my own little twist on things if I can.
Yeah.
With something like this, I figured I could have gone a couple ways with it.
Okay.
I could have kept it really cartoony, but I kind of went more realistic with the 3D effect on these little dots and stuff here, and the way I'm gonna do the mouth and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
For everybody watching and listening, right now I'm getting Oscar's mask. We didn't say this in the beginning, but I'm getting Oscar's mask tagged on me. And
read your John talking about he made it more of a realistic. So if you know the mask that she comes out with when she was a Kabuki warrior with Kairi Sane, it's the mask that I'm getting with just without the pink and purple hair. Just a mask that first I'm a huge fan of Oscar, but I think the mask is awesome. It's just all her masks are awesome, but this is the one that I just tend to a lot. When I first seen her, I was like, oh man, that thing is sick. I thought it'd be interesting to get a tattoo that was wrestling related, but if you saw it, you wouldn't know it was wrestling related.
Yeah.
Until you asked me, hey, where's that from? And I could say, oh, I'm a professional wrestler, Oscar. She wore it. Kind of surreal to watch you do it and watch the lines go in and everything like that. You ever see
I will get one.
when I was in high school and stuff, I remember people taking the ink pens and they were cut themselves and then fill it in with the ink pen and oh yeah, I'll give you a tattoo. Yeah. And then you realize that's not how they do it. That's not how they do it at all. And this is now this is infected and I know why.
Right.
Now, I guess you could say tattoos weren't a big thing in my family. I have a few family members that have a few tattoos. My dad has a few tattoos. My mom has one. So it was never, tattooing was never really, wasn't really a part of my life like that. And then as growing up, everybody's like, "Oh, you don't have no tattoos," and it's just like I always tell myself, it's just like I want one, but I just don't know what I would get to keep on my body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every time I look at it, like, all right, that's awesome. You know. And I feel like sometimes I've always ran into somebody like, "Oh, that's a nice tattoo." Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have gotten it though. Like, or you know, you try to, I guess, you can go a cheap way of doing it, and then you look at the tattoo and it's just like, "Oh yeah, it's supposed to be Snoopy," and it's just like, "I don't look like Snoopy. That just looks like a regular white dog." How do you like, I guess, manage your, is it by how big you want it, the price, like how do you go about, because I know some people might be like, oh, well, the person down there said they could do it for like $200 cheaper. Yep. Are you more like, all right, then go to that person then?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you come up
if that's what you're looking for is a good price, then go back to that person. If you're looking for a good tattoo,
right,
I can do that, but this is what it's going to cost.
Yeah. Sometimes it's one of those things, you're going to pay for what you get. And if you want to go the cheap way.
I have tried to reason with people and argue with them, and it never works. You're not going to get through to them.
Right, right.
You're just not, man.
You think tattooing and wrestling have any similarities when it comes to self-expression?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into both.
Yeah.
You know?
What would you say is like, that people be like, oh, once you're 10 years in or 20 years in, you're considered a vet in professional wrestling. How about for tattooing? What would you think?
It's about the same.
About 10 years before you can say, I've been doing this, I'm really, really good at it.
Yeah, I'd say about 10, 15 years.
Do you remember, I guess, your rookie year of tattooing inside a shop?
Oh, yeah. I thought I was shit, dude. I did, man. I thought, this is it, man. I'm gonna be the best. Here we go.
Did you have did you have a year that was like your best year? Like nonstop work, everybody was coming to you?
No, couple years after COVID was pretty good. Everybody had that COVID money and time on their hands.
Yeah.
That shit was pretty sweet.
How do you manage your time? Like, if someone gets a tattoo, do you automatically give them like 2-3 hour time slot, or is it like if it's only going to take you 45 minutes?
Yeah, if I know it's only going to take me a certain amount of time, that's all I'm looking for.
Okay.
Unless if it's a bigger tattoo and it's like their first tattoo, I'll book a little more time.
Right.
Just because it's their first tattoo.
Yeah.
Just somebody I've been tattooing, I kind of know how they sit anyway.
And one thing I feel like mostly is like the hand falling asleep.
Yeah.
How would you say wrestling like influences your day to day life, to your personal life? Like, is there, I guess, how would I say this? Is like, do you think wrestling has shown you anything or taught you anything that that you personally use in everyday life? Like one thing for me, like wrestling has shown me you can have a whole nother side of you, you know what I mean, and still be the person you are. Yeah. Except, where you are like, I guess everybody has a professionalism to themselves, right? Like this is, like when I'm at work, some people might say I'm way different outside of work. Right. Do you think wrestling like can teach people like how to be professional, and then also when you're not on screen or you're not in the tattoo shop, you can be a completely different person, and that's fine.
Right. Yeah. I think so to a certain degree, and I think it's kind of teaches me that you have to work with somebody. You have to be on the same page with that person. Does that make sense? Like you're not. It's like that way with tattoos, like a match. both got to be on the same page because you got to work together to get the best outcome.
Right.
That's very true. Very true. Right.
All right.
How you feeling? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm doing good. Hopefully, I'm
start putting some color on there.
All right.
Not a lot of color. There's just some blues down in here, red and pink in the mouth, gold in the eyes and the teeth. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. We'll be right back.
Yep.
All right, on to some color. If you could have anybody on your chair right now, that's a wrestler, who would it be, and what kind of things would you talk to them about? Like,
Oh shit! I would like to tattoo Dan Housen. I think that'd be fun. I think he'd get something cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably share some really awesome stories with you.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he's got them. I'm sure.
You ever find? I know you said you find yourself like when you do a tattoo, you're like, "Oh damn, I could have done better." You ever be like, "You know what? That could have been better. Let me go ahead and just give you a discount," or anything like that? Or
Usually, what I'll do is I'll call him back and be like, "Hey man, you want me to do a touch up on that?"
Okay. Is there a specific color you don't like working with?
Purple.
What's that?
It's just a weak pigment.
Okay. Your favorite color you like working with?
Probably green. It's usually pretty easy to put in.
Okay. You own any? You have a Ric Flair Hall of Fame ring? Anything else wrestling related you own?
Mostly just pictures, posters,
Pictures, autographs.
posters. Yeah.
Any belts?
No, not yet. I don't have a belt yet.
Would you like a belt?
Hell yeah, who would?
What belt would you go with if you had to pick your first belt?
Oh man, probably the World Championship.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could, people do like to have custom titles too.
Yeah, yeah.
You meet much wrestling fans when you do tattoos?
Yeah, more so if like you kind of have to throw the flag up.
Right.
If you have a wrestling shirt on, people will stop and talk to you.
Yeah.
But if you don't, they don't usually know you watch. So unless like you see the Dan Housen
Yeah.
or something like that.
What made the territorial stand out like most to you than all the other wrestling eras that we've had?
I think their storylines were a little more consistent because they were working with a smaller group of people.
Okay.
They had a lot more time to develop those storylines,
Yeah, yeah.
because they had the same cast every week and it wasn't, massive like WWE is now.
Besides like Danhausen, have you ever met any of your favorite wrestlers that you were like kind of disappointed in meeting them?
Jimmy Valiant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's that?
Because he wanted crack. We were doing the 4th of July thing for the town I grew up in, and we were like, yeah, let's get him. He just lives in Virginia. I'm sure he'll do it. He did.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of shook us down the day of, because we'd already paid him his retainer and all. And he was like, well, if I don't have, like, oh man, really, dude? Come on. But I heard that he's not like that anymore, which is great.
Yeah, that is definitely a
great.
plus. That's always something like surreal. I remember the first time I met Jimmy Superfly Snuka, may he rest in peace. But he was wrestling at one of my cousin's event. He was like, man, you should come. Jimmy Superfly's gonna be there. I'm like, oh, word, Jimmy Superfly, it's a legend. Gotta go see him. Met him. I watched him wrestle, and I was just like, oh man, Jimmy, I think it's time. I go ahead and call it quits. But after the event, my cousin was like, you want to meet him? You want to go to the locker room? I was like, yeah, man. At that time, I thought, like as a kid, I thought WWE was like, awesome. And then like I'm at these indie shows watching these guys that used to be on WWE, and I'm like, oh, you want me to go to the locker room? This is big. It wasn't. I grew up now and I laugh about it because I'm just like, it's funny that I was in their locker rooms. But first time I met Jimmy Superfly, I was 19 years old, and he was just like, hey man, I was like, that's nice to meet you, Jimmy. Like, my dad was a huge fan of you. I've watched your matches. I'm a huge fan. He's like, that's awesome. That's awesome. He's just like, hey, he's like, neither one of you boys, have some marijuana I could buy, right? Oh man, I didn't think you were gonna be like that.
Yeah.
But sadly, told him no, man. We don't got nothing for you to share, and he's just like, oh, okay. He's like, I really gotta go, man. I gotta go find someone. I gotta get on the next plane. I'm just like, okay, it was nice meeting you. Yeah.
Good luck.
Met him. Met Tito Santana when I was a younger guy, and I never realized as somebody who's Puerto Rican now, like how much of an influence he's had on wrestling, especially in Puerto Rico. So meeting him as a kid, I was just like, oh man, it's another old guy. But now that I look back onto him, I'm like, I really met a legend. I have a picture with him and his signature. Nice. So yeah, when I was a kid, and my uncle was like, that's Tito Santana, man. Like, show that guy some respect. And I'm like, yeah, but he's not Taker. He's not Cena. He's not Randy Orton. Name Scotty Too Hottie. My brother was like, I think it's the first time my brother's ever been like starstruck by somebody. Yeah. Out of all people too, like he couldn't get words out. Like, oh, you're. It's like, that's Scotty Too Hottie, bro. Keep your cool, man. Yeah. Keep your cool. Is that the only wrestler that you've read into that you're like, oh, damn?
Yeah.
Besides Danhausen, any other wrestler that you met that was just like awesome? Like you were real happy you got to meet him and real cool guy.
I feel like Anderson was really cool.
Arn Anderson is a great guy. Yeah, he's real humble.
Cool. And Ivan Koloff, really, man, was amazing to me. And he was older then when I saw him. He was still awesome, man. Especially when he realized how long I'd been watching wrestling.
Right.
I remember when he wrestled.
I remember last year we were getting ready to go to WrestleCade, parked at the parking deck. We're taking the elevator down. In comes Blake Christian, who's a wrestler in the indie scene right now. And then we're just, sitting there, and the elevator opens up, and it's just like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat standing in front of him. And we're all like, oh, wow, that's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And he's just looking at it like, is it cool, if I ride with you guys? We're like, of course. Like, yeah. Got in, and we went down to the next floor, and nobody said a word to him. We all just like stood in silence, like, oh, we're really riding an elevator with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Yeah. Got to that line to go meet him, and just real humble guy, just real nice, real, wasn't really. One thing I don't like about certain wrestlers is, especially when it comes to conventions, I understand, they have to make their money, and they have to do what they need to do to make their money, but when you're overpricing, for certain pictures or an autograph, and I'm a fan of Victoria, and when we got to meet her, it was like awesome. And then I'll never forget this, but like me and my brother were there, and my brother was like, "Oh, how much is a picture and autograph?" She was like $75, and my instant reaction was like, "Damn!" And she's like, "Oh, that's cheap, right?" And in my mind, I'm like, "No, that's really expensive for you." Like I get what you did, you're a legend and everything, but $75 is kind of steep. And I'm a human being too. I gotta pay bills and stuff like that too, but. I just think it's kind of, you can kind of get a feel for the guys that are trying to get one over on fans, and then the ones that are actually doing it because they realize these fans are the ones that like put money in their pockets and they're humble about it. Yeah. Who do you think is like the good of wrestling? Some people like to say John Cena. Some people like to say, sadly, Hulk Hogan.
The GOAT of wrestling?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's
a lot of people say Roman Reigns right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's again because everything changes so much and so drastically sometimes.
Sometimes you get a star that you don't even think was going to become a star.
Yeah.
I love to like use the Kofi Kingston storyline. You know, I don't think they knew that him having that title was going to be so big, and it was. And then he lost it the way he lost it, and I think everybody was like, "Come on, man! Could have given him an actual match."
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Brock Lesnar?
Yeah. He's alright. He's a great big old dude.
I feel like he's you're either a fan of him or you're not. It's kind of like Goldberg. You either like him or you don't, and then he's better than Goldberg, though. I'll give him that.
Oh yeah,
way better.
Definitely way better than Goldberg.
There's a few guys that I like to name, like Goldberg's one, but like Ryback, God, I could not stand him.
Oh yeah.
He just was really bad in the ring and just couldn't do things. You know, right? Nia Jax, like I said, earlier in her early career. Thank you. Was another one. Would you mind opening this for me? Yeah, thank you. What would you put on your Mount Rushmore for women wrestling?
I'd have to put Liv just because she's my favorite.
Okay. Because there are so many of them that I don't like that are getting a push right now. Oh, who's that?
I'm not a big Lyra Valkyria fan.
Okay.
I do like, what's the two little gymnastic girls? Carter and Chance?
Okay, yeah.
I think they're pretty awesome, man. As far as newer wrestlers go. I like little Thea Hale from NXT.
Yeah.
I think she's fucking cool.
Are you a fan of Sasha Banks when she was there?
Not a big fan.
Not a big fan of Sasha?
No.
What about Becky Lynch?
I like Becky Lynch. I really like Jade Cargill a lot. I think she's gonna do big shit.
Yeah, I like Jade too. Oh, no, they're dead. Oh, that's all.
Alright.
Yeah. Agree. Yeah, Jade Cargill's good. Are you a fan of Charlotte?
Yeah.
Bailey? I like Bailey. I think Bailey. No?
I do like Kairi Sane and Io Sky together.
Yeah.
I think they make a good tag team.
What about I currently like right now Last Legend and Jakar from NXT. I think that they're really good.
Yeah. What is up with Asuka? Where has she been?
She's hurt. She's I think she's making her way back. Somebody that is also making her way back that I'm a fan of is Alexa Bliss.
Oh yeah.
Huge
She just got married and had a baby.
Yeah. She now she's living the life now. But she said she was making her way back. Asuka sadly though, she got injured. I think she's also making her way back soon. Hopefully. It'd be great to see her.
Yeah.
What about like girls from like AEW, Britt Baker?
I love Britt Baker. I like Britt Baker a lot. That match. And I love the bunny, that match that they had.
Yeah, the bunny's awesome.
Bloody match. Oh man, dude. Those two fucking went for it.
Do you think there's like do you think women's wrestling is better now than it was?
Oh yeah, by leaps and bounds.
Okay. I know we talked about it a little bit, but like somebody I like to think about is like Edge's wife, the glamorous Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
I feel like she would have fit perfect in this era of wrestling now.
Yeah, because she was more of a wrestler.
Right.
Yeah.
Then
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good bra and panties match.
I think everybody might.
But they're not genuinely exciting.
Yes. Right. Yeah. I'm a fan of Lita and the Trish Stratus's. I was a huge fan. I'm not sure if you remember of Ashley. I was a huge fan of her. I thought she was awesome. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think women's wrestling is way better because it's actual wrestling now, and these women are getting to actually give a showcasing, and you guys got to give thanks to women that kind of helped pave the way to do all that.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of somebody I know a lot of people didn't like at the time was Vicky Guerrero?
I didn't like her character, but I thought she was, okay. As far as what she did.
Were you a fan of Chavo?
Yeah. Until he was the white guy.
Okay.
Then I was like, Chavo, why are you doing this? your Chavo Guerrero Jr.
Yeah. Jumping back to somebody that I highly respect, and I think what she's done was really great. But now I kind of just want her to take a leap back. Is not Beth Phoenix,
Natalia.
Natalia, yeah, thank you, Natalia. Like I said, she's a legend in her own right, definitely a legend. But I really feel like now, she's definitely take a step back. I feel like she's just trying to be too much, like in everything. I feel like me and my brother, we say like she's that one wrestler who says like, oh, I want to be the first person to do that, so just put me in.
Yeah.
And I think she still kind of gets that treatment, but I could be wrong. I just really, there's a female that just recently got released. Her name was Tegan Knox. Who I was like, oh man, they should really be pushing this girl to the sky right now because she's great. But then I really feel like Natalia just held her back because Natalia wasn't part of the spotlight.
Yeah.
Which sucks. So. And there's some wrestlers now you see that's like on the roster and you're just like, oh man, you really got rid of this person to keep for this. Maybe you should have rethought that situation. You ever see somebody who like was supposed to get a tattoo from you but then got a tattoo from somebody else and you're just like, oh yeah, I definitely could have done that way better.
Yeah, it happens.
Or like, do they come in and say, yeah, I should have came to you first?
Yeah. Sometimes that happens too.
You ever get a tattoo, like have someone tattoo on you and you're just like, whoa man, you're way too way too hard right now.
Every time I get tattooed, I bitch like that. Anytime.
Then you have to remind yourself, oh, it's not me.
I do this to people all day long. That's usually what's going through my mind, like, you deserve this.
You ever get somebody like when they give you a tattoo and they want color, and then like none of the colors match up, and they're like, "Those are the colors I really want." You have to explain to them like why it'd be a bad idea to try to mix these.
And sometimes it works, and sometimes they don't care, man.
Yeah. Okay.
And they just kind of suck because without the color palette, it would be a great tattoo.
Right.
You wanted your preference instead of what would go good. So.
Right. Yeah. So you're just like, okay, I'll give you what you want.
I'll give you what you want.
You ever thought about which event you would go to first, like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, Survivor Series?
No, whichever one I could get to first, I'd take it.
Did you see the prices on the... It's kind of like a surreal... It costs more to go to WrestleMania than it does like a Super Bowl or something like that. You have to ever make like a custom color where you have to like mix two inks together, or
oh yeah,
does ink usually come by like?
I mean, you can buy. There's hundreds of colors in the sets, but a lot of them you can just make yourself.
Make it yourself.
Otherwise, you'll never use it. You know.
Right. Yeah. You only use it that one time and never use it again.
And then next thing you know, it's expired.
Do you prefer to, when you're drawing, do you prefer to use colored pencils, markers, simple pencil, pen?
Honestly, these days I really dig my iPad, man.
Okay.
I really dig that thing. It has a lot of good, useful tools.
Gets all the lines straight.
Yeah, learning how to draw on glass is weird because it's really slick.
Right. Nice. I think we're almost done here.
Mm-hmm.
A great little session, great conversation. I appreciate you, John, for really doing this. This is something that when I actually came up with the idea, I was like, well, this was like a few months ago, right? I was like, I want to do it, got to do it. And then Brandon was like, well, let's just find a tattoo artist. And then Michelle, who we know mutually, was just like, she told me, she came with a shirt one time. I said, oh, where's that shirt from? She's like, that's from my buddy's tattoo shop. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And she's like, oh, you would like him. He's a huge wrestling fan. His name is John. I was like, okay, cool. And then she told me y'all were going to the Monday Night Raw. I think it was that week. Y'all went.
Yeah.
And then I just like came to her the next day. I was like, would your buddy like tattoo? Like give me a tattoo? And she's like, yeah. And see, why not? Then I told her my idea and gave everybody my idea. And they're like, yeah, you know. And all right, so I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you wanting to do this and, you know, allowing me to come here. First of all, get the tattoo and put this on my platform. And hopefully, you know, people come out to Tattoo Revival. Yeah, and that's for John Slater.
It was definitely fun. I appreciate it. Any chance I can get to talk about wrestling, I'll take it.
Yeah, I hear that.
Ask people at the bar. Need about 6 in me. I'll talk to you all night about wrestling. All our hard work paid off.
There's that real movie right there. So like, I know you got that open now. Alright. I feel like there's a little area over there. Can we see it? I think it might really good. Yeah, no, he's a go. He's slap and he said he could basically know this thing. A little under 2 years. Damn, that's crazy. I said the gig outside.
Let's check it out.
Heck yeah.
He got the yeah, he got
man, that's awesome.
And
it wasn't even as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Nice.
So that's really awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. We'll give it a few minutes to bleed, and then I'll clean it off again.
You're right. That's
You can be on your way.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, then one more time. Mr. John Slater, thank you again for the tattoo. Yeah, just any words for any inspiring tattoo artists, where they can find you and how they can reach you.
You can come down to Tattoo Revival. That's the best place. It's the best way to get in touch with me. Just come down here. We're 615 North Liberty Street.
What's the Salem?
Downtown Winston-Salem in the Arts District.
Yeah, we'll get some pictures and show you guys the rest of the tattoo. Appreciate you guys tuning in.